This is it. Chiefs versus Bills, the game that you've been waiting for, revenge, the next 13 seconds, whatever you want to call it. It's Chiefs versus Bills for what could be the power in the AFC. I have a lot to go over here. We're going to hit 4 points for you, and we have more coming for the Stats Primer. Don't miss that. Like, sub, hit that bell, become part of us here with that subscription. I'm Ryan Tracy. This is RGR Football. Let's get after it. First, bam, number one, you got to play like these guys. It's been a while, but that's what it comes down to. You have to adapt. You have to overcome. This is probably the toughest AFC opponent you're going to have this whole season. You have to remember who you are. Come out and run your game. Take care of your business. Be the best Chiefs that you can be. And the guys that played like this team did. That's really all it comes down to. Because if you're firing on all cylinders and you show up the way that you need to, this team can beat the Buffalo Bills. It doesn't have to be a last-second win, and it doesn't have to be anything short of a mystery. Number two, what you got to do is control. You're not going to be able to stop, but control and limit what Josh Allen does on the ground. Yes, he has good targets. Yes, he'll be able to really target some of the Chiefs rookies and address the ball there. That's fine. That's going to happen. They're going to have some plays. You have to take that in as a defense, and you have to be able to withstand that. What you can't let him do is continually run the ball himself and make first down after first down after first down and just get himself more opportunities. Now, that's going to be tough without Willie Gay. That's really the crux of it here. If there's any game to have Willie, it is for this, because Darius Harris, as well as he's played, is not up to chasing Josh Allen around the field as much. Brian Cook's in the concussion protocol, a guy that I would have had stand in and try to had him shadow a little bit and stay in that three-man dime kind of thing. It's going to be tough, but you have to systemically contain and keep him quartered in. On the offensive side of the ball, you got to have some balance. We saw how good it worked against the Bucs. Now, you have to be able to do that against the Bills as well. They have a couple of weak points. Getting to the edge on Greg Rousseau is going to be important, because in that run game, if you can turn that corner against him, you have some room to maneuver. Now, there's also a couple of holes. I think you can run it at Oliver inside, and I think you have to do that a little bit so that you can have the balance. It doesn't have to be a 50-50 split. It doesn't even have to be as much as it was against the Bucs, but you have to have enough run game to keep them honest, to keep them out of the too high. And that's going to be an even bigger key, because it looks like they might have Jordan Poyer back. And Poyer is a player that it runs their defense at this point. And it is about where he is. Number four is you have to understand where Jordan Poyer is if you're Patrick Mahomes. That's going to be important. Now, he's coming off of a rib injury, but sounds like he's going to be in the game, and you have to know where he is at all times. If you can pull him down by using that run game and get him down into the base, you're going to have a chance to affect that defense. If you keep him out of too high, even if it is a cover three with a single safety, you're getting the looks that you want, that you feel you can exploit. And if you're Andy Reid and you're Patrick Mahomes, you can get that done. That's really what it comes down to, is understanding where their personnel lives and breathes the best and taking advantage of that. It is about balance. It is about knowing where Poyer is. It is about, in the end, running your best game. Bonus point I do want to make, it's got to be adaptable. I thought they did a good job last week in making adjustments. They have to continue that, because the Bills are saving some stuff for them as well. Bucker's going to be back here, and I think the Chiefs kind of held him out a little bit. Dawson Knox is going to be back, supposedly. We'll see if that happens, because Knox has had kind of a knocks on this team. He has a knack for getting behind them, and so they have to keep an eye on that as well. All that goes in together, that you have to play your best ball game. Simple, straightforward. That's the way that it goes. We're going to have more. We're going to have the stats primer that's going to give you a ton of information from Gary here coming in a bit. Make sure you hit that sub button and check it out.
Now we can jump into the stat primer for the Week 6 matchup between the Chiefs and the Bills. So this is the 48th meeting between these two teams in the regular season. The Bills own the series with a 25-21-1 record against the Chiefs. Mahomes is 3-1 versus Buffalo in his career, including the playoffs. And in his 3 wins, he's averaged a rating over 125. So he's played very well in the 3 wins versus Buffalo. And the 1 loss, he had a 70.9 rating, which is one of the worst performances in his career. So I would expect Mahomes to try to play well on Sunday, obviously. And it's up to the rest of the Chiefs team to support him and give him a chance to take on this high-powered Buffalo Bills offense. Speaking of that, In terms of yards per play offensively, the Chiefs have averaged 5.8 yards per play in 2022, ranking them ninth, while the Bills have averaged 6.7 yards per play, number one in the NFL. Across the board, the Bills' offense has been a little better than the Chiefs, except for in points per drive. So the Chiefs have the number one points per drive offense in the NFL at 2.96 points per drive. And the Bills have the number two points per drive offense in the NFL at 2.7 points per drive. The Chiefs have done a much better job taking care of the ball on the offense, only turning the ball over on 5.8% of their drives. The Bills, on the other hand, have not been careful with taking care of the ball. They have turned the ball over on 17% of their offensive drives, which is 28th in the NFL. The Chiefs have had a hard time forcing turnovers throughout the season. They are ranked 29th in the NFL as far as turnover percentage goes. And so this is an area where hopefully the Chiefs can get better in that regard and they can force the Bills to turn the ball over because they've been giving it up to so far this season. In terms of points per game, the Chiefs have the number one ranked points per game offense, and the Bills have the number two ranked points per game offense. In terms of third down percentage, the Chiefs have the second ranked third down percentage, converting 52.5% of their third downs, and the Bills have the number one third down percentage offense, converting 55.7% of their third down conversions. So this is a meeting of two juggernauts offensively, and we should see a high-scoring game. The Chiefs and the Bills are the two top offenses in the NFL at this point in time, I would say, just looking at their stats. But now let's take a look at their defenses, and this is where the two teams separate themselves. In terms of yard per play, the Chiefs have given up 5.3 yards per play, ranking 11th in the NFL, while the Bills have given up 4.4 yards per play, ranking second in the NFL. Now, the Chiefs have given up the 11th most yards per play, but they've given up the 23rd most points per play. So there's a little bit of discombobulation there where the Chiefs are giving up fewer yards per play, but more points per game. And the reason for that difference is because they're 29th in turnover percentage. So the Chiefs have not been turning teams over. That's been allowing them to have more opportunities to score. But when it comes to the Bills, they are ranked third in the NFL in turnover percentage. They have been forcing teams to turn the ball over. So this is why in this Bills-Chiefs matchup, turnovers are going to be of the utmost importance, more so than any usual game, because the margin is so slim, and the Chiefs have not done a good job turning teams over so far this year. So I think if they can get if they can get an interception, if they can get a fumble here or there, they can win the turnover battle. It'll help them be in a position to win the game. In terms of blitz percentage, the Chiefs have blitzed on 29.1% of their opponent's passing plays, and that ranks number 10th in the NFL. And the Bills have blitzed on 13.5% of their opponent's passing plays, which is 31st, so second to last. The Bills don't blitz very often. The Chiefs, in terms of pressure percentage, getting close to sacking the quarterback, pressuring that quarterback, they've pressured the opposing team's quarterback on 29.6% of their opponent's dropbacks, which is good for third in the NFL. That's very impressive. The Bills, on the other hand, have only pressured opposing quarterbacks on 23.8% of their dropbacks, ranking 15th in the NFL. One thing to note is that the Bills don't blitz very often. They're 31st in the NFL in blitz percentage, but they're 15th in pressure percentage. So that tells me that they're rushing 4, and they're doing a good job of it. So we really need the Chiefs' offensive line to step up in this game. And I think the other factor of the game I want to note is that our key area of the game where the Chiefs need to do well is they need to do well in the trenches versus the Bills' front seven. So this game falls on the Chiefs' offensive line, I believe. If the Chiefs' offensive line can give Mahomes some time, he can pick apart a Bills secondary that has had some injury issues. So if the Bills are able to get to Mahomes without rushing or without blitzing, it could be a long day for the Chiefs. In terms of any strengths versus weaknesses, the Buffalo offense versus the Chiefs defense. Buffalo's offense has averaged the second best points per drive in the NFL, while the Chiefs have the 27th worst points per drive allowed in the NFL. So on a drive-by-drive basis, every stop the Chiefs can get is going to be huge. There's a lot of strength versus strength in this game. The Chiefs offense versus the Bills defense. So the Chiefs have the 9th ranked yards per play offense in the NFL. The Bills have the 2nd ranked offense, the 2nd ranked points per game defense in the NFL. In terms of rushing yards per play, the Bills rank 7th in offensive rushing yards per play, and the Chiefs rank 7th as well defensively. So there's a lot of interesting things going on in this game statistically. It's really two offensive juggernauts meeting for a clash. I believe that if the Chiefs' offensive line can play well and the Chiefs can get some turnovers, they have a good shot of winning this one. If not, we'll just see what happens. But our predictions for Sunday's game, Ryan's predicting the Chiefs to win 34-33. Dan's predicting the Chiefs to win 38-34. And go ahead and kill me, but I'm predicting the Bills to win 36-29. I will be so happy to be wrong about that. I want the Chiefs to win this game. Obviously, it has huge playoff implications. But there's our predictions. What do you think the game is going to be? What do you think the score is going to be? Do you think the Chiefs win? Do you think the Chiefs lose? Tell us where we went right. Tell us where we went wrong. Let us know your thoughts. And as always, make sure you like and share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. This is Gary, signing out.